Imagine spending months in the classroom learning diverse concepts only to be judged by a few multiple choice questions on a standardized test. So, what does standardized testing really measure? In a perfect education world, testing would measure the knowledge a student gained about a particular subject during the school year. Is this really what it measures, though? Testing scores are affected by many aspects, such as student test anxiety, physical and mental health, motivation, and inaccurate representation of intelligence. So it seems standardized testing isn't so standardized after all. The first and most well-known element that affects testing is stress. Test anxiety causes nervousness and inability to apply information to the test.
So much focus is on the test that not only is it taking away the love of teaching and learning, but we find our students, we've talked with medical professionals, and we find our students are exhibiting signs of stress because they know that the tests are having such high consequences on whether they're going to fourth grade or whether they're graduating.
On a survey we sent out, we asked on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how stressful standardized testing environments are for students. Over 30% of students perceive them as a 10, and below 2% admit that they are completely comfortable. One student who took the survey, Kaylin C., replied, "I feel as though my entire future is based off a test that I get anxious for and I don't score well. It makes me more stressed to have to try and be better." Stress can greatly affect scores and trick students into believing they do not know the answers. Another aspect that influences scores is health, both physical and mental. Lack of sleep, illness, and learning disabilities all play into how a student performs on the test. According to Dylan V., testing itself is not the issue. It's the setting that we are in and the circumstances that may result in lower scores for some individuals. Students may not get the amount of sleep required to properly retain information that they learned or studied for, or they may be too tired to remember when the test comes around. Another student, Patience H., remarked, "I don't mind taking the test because I'm a good test taker, but they aren't good indicators of intelligence since there are other factors that can affect the outcome, like whether someone is a good test taker or how they were feeling on a particular day." While health can greatly affect the test, student motivation plays a big role. There are some students who put forth no effort and click through the entire test carelessly. For these slackers, teachers can incorporate testing practices into the classroom, but this can encourage teaching to the test. When the stakes get high, teachers no longer encourage students to explore the concept and subjects that interest them, from the effects of high-stakes testing on student motivation and learning.
Even have the flexibility to reach individual students that I need to because I'm on a certain timeline to pass a test at the end of the year, which isn't very inaccurate overall.
National multiple choice test, such as that proposed by Educate America, would be a complete educational disaster. It would sabotage school reform and undermine public education.
Many students believe standardized tests is an inaccurate representation of their intelligence. In our survey, even though 49.5% of 195 students who took the survey believe they are good standardized test takers, only 36.4% feel that the test reflects their intelligence. In the opinion of one student, Gavin L., testing does not reflect how people apply the skills learned in class, but actually having a project or something along those lines will put those skills to the test. In these situations, a performance-based assessment would be more suitable to reflect a student's understanding of the course.
Any assessment procedures should be performance-based and as fair as possible.
One may have to hear anecdotes of those that were affected by the test so they may empathize with them.
I have a master's degree and a plus 30 from LSU, and I'll give you a personal experience. I finished my bachelor's degree. I'll tell you my GPA, 3.85. Plus, I was a college athlete, played in 2 college World Series, and then I was asked to take the GRE to enter graduate school, and I did so, and I was very basic, which out of my cohort that was accepted, I had the lowest on the GRE, but yet, when everything was said and done, I was the top of my cohort with GPA with a 3.98. and graduated with honors with my master's.
In conclusion, there are a great many factors that can modify the outcome of the test, including student test anxiety, physical and mental health, motivation, and the inaccurate representation of intelligence. These components can greatly alter one's score. Testing does have its benefits. However, its system needs to be tweaked. Instead of depending on this one score, schools must look at GPA and class performance. Some colleges have already begun to implement this.
You have the University of California system has gone test blind, or as many people call it, test free. They're not. If you send an SAT score, the admissions folks in those institutions won't even look at it.
In doing this, teachers will foster a love of learning and colleges will find well-rounded students. If we stay persistent, we can change the ways standardized tests affect schools.